going to my accountant to drop off my taxes. I keep seeing this trend on Twitter, and they keep saying, what's one thing that we just assume, or one thing that we just accept and don't question anymore. And the thing that keeps coming up is paying taxes, right? People say that is so normalized, and I don't know. Yeah, I think it's insane for paying taxes for all this stuff that we don't don't actually vote for. It's nuts. One thing I'm talking about in this video is the economy, and the economy for the average Joe. Right now, it is not doing that hot. If you just look at the consumer sentiment, people are pretty upset about everything that is wrong with the economy. They say that the economy is not working for them. I keep seeing stuff about, is there going to be a recession? Are we in a recession? Is the answer yes? Is the answer no? I personally think that we possibly could be in a recession, and like I said, I'm not sure what the Fed is doing to print money. The prices are up, and I was watching a video yesterday, and it said that once your food prices go up, they actually don't really go down. The food prices that we are experiencing right now, right? They're not likely to go down. And I also saw something that's gonna really freak you out. There's been a rise of women who are on Tinder, and these women are talking to guys, and the guys are setting them up, right? The guys are asking, hey, let's meet in person, let's get dinner, and let's go to a restaurant. But here's where it gets crazy. Where it gets crazy is the fact that it's not actually guys who are talking to these women. It's, believe me, it is restaurants who are setting up these accounts, and these women are showing up to the restaurants, and it's a way for restaurants to make some money. Now, isn't that nuts? Isn't that just insane? What are you going to do that restaurants now think it's a good idea to do this? And if you take a look at the restaurants, people are saying, wow, this food prices are crazy. I was looking at something on X the other day, and they said that in 2019, the average cost for 2 meals, each person gets a drink, even dessert, about $72. The same thing in 2024, 2 meals, no drinks and no dessert, the price is $100. What are you going to do? Yeah, so I don't know. The economy is, like I said, it works for some, but not for others. I'm just going to be turning here. So I don't know, is Bidenomics working out for you? I think many people would say no, and that many people are now going to food pantries to get food. There we go, it's getting hot in here. Many families are going to food pantries, and these food pantries can't actually keep up with the amount of people who are at the food pantry lines. They are hurting right now. The economy is tough. And where are these food pantries going to get food? Because the people who, who would have this disposable food are actually holding on to the food longer. So, it's the chicken and the egg situation. And this seems to be a domino effect that keeps on going. Look at this Friday traffic, and So right now, people are thinking about going on vacation, but they don't go on vacation. Whereas the family of two or three or four, they used to decide to be spontaneous and go to a restaurant while they're on vacation. But now they are deciding to you know, put in a sack lunch because they can no longer afford to go to a restaurant while they're on vacation. Yeah, it is wild. Now, you're gonna love this story that came across my feed. The CEO of Kellogg's was on one of these talking heads programs on like Squawk Box or something, right? And the CEO of Kellogg's was saying that the consumers, you and me, that we should be eating cereal for dinner as an economic alternative to hedge against the price of groceries being increased, right? Who actually wants to eat cereal for dinner? It's cool if you're a kid and you think it's fun, but we would do it every now and then growing up. We would want cereal for dinner, or maybe you're a poor college kid, classic stereotype, and you eat cereal for dinner. But for the CEO of Kellogg's to go outright and say that, yeah, I think consumers are going to embrace this idea. It's been met well with our audience and our demographic, and I'm thinking like, dang, things have gotten this bad that people are resorting to eating cereal for breakfast. And if you look at the cereal, most of that stuff is not good for you. It's a bunch of refined sugar and fortified with other stuff in it, right? So eating cereal for dinner is not good. Do not recommend it. If you go down that aisle, that actual aisle of cereal, it's a bunch of just sugar and artificial goods. CEO of Kellogg's is, billionaire, saying this type of stuff and saying, all right, peasants, you can have your cereal, eat that for dinner. You are good to go, right? Don't bother me. I'm in my castle. But it's gotten pretty bad. Like I said, if that's where people have to go to get dinner, yeah, it's insane. Let me know your thoughts. Would you eat cereal for dinner? I wouldn't. I certainly would not. I would rather eat a thing of sardines or something else besides cereal for dinner. Yeah, too much sugar, too much crap inside of that cereals. One stock that I've been looking at a lot is a Bitcoin mining company, and the company is named CleanSpark. And if you follow cryptocurrency and crypto mining, you're going to be seeing that this company, CleanSpark, they've got a whole bunch of offices out of Georgia in these small towns where they're building up their infrastructure. And what they do is they buy up a whole bunch of these GPUs. So they've been using their share price, which has been going crazy right now. It was like at $2 last year. Now it's at about $17. But what they're doing is they are buying up all of these GPUs to increase their mining rate and their hashing rate so that they can, get more Bitcoin. And I think like the last time I checked the price of Bitcoin, it was around $44,000. Pretty good price. And like I said, they're going nuts. And it seems like all of the stocks who are in AI, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, they're all, being artificially lifted right now by the insane news of NVIDIA. What I thought was wild was that the market cap for NVIDIA is greater than the economy of Canada, right? With Canada has all of its natural resources, the wood, the timber, the energy, right? This graphics card company is worth more than their entire GDP. Now think about that. Like I said, the AI boom, they're saying that it is the next revolution, and Silicon Valley is certainly trying to grab as much of this money as they can right now. Yeah, it's pretty wild. So I've been looking at Nvidia, and I did see this, right? Talk about the young people who are opting to check out. Many young people now are kind of feeling disillusioned. They say that the economy is not working for them, and that life is very expensive. They've got a whole bunch of complaints, student loans, they've got that. They've got, groceries are expensive, everything is expensive with inflation. Now they have now they got this thing with their job satisfaction. They're saying, hey, I can't get a raise, I can't afford, I work 40 hours a week. There was this lady, she was making a video in her car. I guess she was working at Walmart. She was saying, hey everybody, I work 40 hours a week and I still can't pay my bills. And it made me think about me being young, and I can remember when I was 19, 20, I had roommates, I was trying to think like what is really different. You don't historically have that much money when you're that age, right? And you are out on your own. So I don't know if it's just a small few who are being vocal or if things really have changed. But like I said, I lived with buddies in my 20s to get, just to get out of the house. So I don't really think in that aspect it really is that different, right? I think back then, one difference though was that I think the average rents were around, 600, 700, maybe, around that price. Yeah, that's what it cost. I would say one difference though for me when I was younger, I used to work at a grocery store, and I paid my bills. I had a car note, I had insurance, and back then my insurance was actually more expensive than my car note. I was a young guy and I decided to get a big red truck. And if you know one thing, right, red cars are more expensive to insure than other cars, and me being a young guy, we're also expensive when it comes to car insurance, right? We tend to drive reckless, drive fast. So I had that double whammy going against me. But back to the young people, they are increasingly saying, what is it? What's the point of everything? They are doing this thing called doom spending, where they're saying, hey, you know what? I'm gonna live for today because I'm never ever going to be able to buy a house. So I might as well just spend my money now, just put it on the card and worry about the consequences later. I think that's nuts, and I think that it'll come back and haunt them one day. Credit card debt is terrible, right? You kick that can down the road and your $1,000 debt turns into a $10,000 debt, and then you just keep paying that minimum and you keep paying that minimum, and then you find yourself in the hole, and the hole gets deeper and deeper, and you're just digging yourself. So like I said, I do not advise anyone put that type of stuff on their credit card. It's just not worth it at the end of the day. But yeah, the young people, like I said, they are, I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I would say right now, they do have some good facts, right? Home prices are, they are priced out of the market. That is true. Their wages are not keeping up with the cost of goods and with the home prices. One trend I keep saying is like, it's the boomers' fault. Y'all did this. And what they're saying is that for these baby boomers, it's their fault because they're not leaving their homes. And I'm thinking to myself, where are they going to go? All right. It doesn't make any sense for them to sell their house and right now, if it's paid for, and then take on a new mortgage, possibly, and then what if they got to take on a new mortgage and they get a bigger house, and then the interest rate is also higher. Like, what is, it doesn't make any type of economical sense. So again, I don't understand why they're saying the fact that it's because the boomers are not moving. The other complaint is that all of the boomers they are still working, and that those jobs belong to the young people. And again, I say to myself, well, if they're working, it's for a reason. They choose work as opposed to being on the street. And it is true, they are working many of these jobs that they might not have worked in the past, right? Which might have been normally a job reserved for a teenager. You're working at fast food, those types of jobs, right? Which I've done, at that age. When I was in my teens, age 14, I was working at a grocery store. I was a bag boy. I worked at a restaurant, for many years. And again, they're saying that well, it's because these boomers are working these jobs. I don't have a job, and life's not fair. And I will say this, life is tough. There's no doubt about it, right? Life's never been easy for anybody, And I think we have ups and we have downs, and for many young people, this is their first time being in a down market and never had experienced this. So, like I said, it is pretty, it is different for them. So they're, unfortunately getting to experience this firsthand, and I feel for them, like I said. But in these times, you really do have to keep a budget. You want to make sure you are saving money. If you can, put money on the side. If you got any type of ways you can save money, like if you got a Netflix, and then you got your Prime Video and your Paramount Plus, your Disney Plus, your Hulu, right? All that stuff adds up. And do you really watch all of those, or can you save some, right, of that money, and then save it for an emergency fund? Try to have 3 months of bills minimum just to help you get by. All right, and one thing you can think about is less DoorDash and more cooking in your house, right? That's a basic thing to help out with this economy. It's beans and rice, right? Ramen noodles. It's not glamorous, but you will survive. I think younger people are, some people, I like this idea, right? Let's say that you do move back home. Well, if you do that, save that money, bank that money, right? And do it for maybe a year, maybe 2 years. Then you'll have enough possibly to put down for a down payment on your own place, right? Once the market rebounds and costs go back down, so stack that money, save it, right? And take advantage of the fact that you might be able to live cheaper or rent free at your folks, and stack that money, right? Stack it for a rainy day. You got a couple options. You can save it, you can invest it, you can put it in a cash deposit, you can make interest on it, you can make your money work for you if you are strategic about it. I know one guy who I follow, he's a great follow. I'll share his link in the YouTube. It's Jack, and it's I think his channel is called Red Leather Jacket. And what he did was he was living in California, and they wanted to increase his rent by like $600, $700 a month. And he goes, I'm not doing that. So what he did instead was he actually decided to live in his car for 6 months. He said it wasn't all glorious, but he got used to it. But in that 6 months, he saved on rent, and used that money to buy a house in Florida. Like I said, is that for everybody? I don't know. Each person is different. Each person has their own level of comfort. But I think for many people, I don't know, like you might embrace that option. I have seen this rise of van life, definitely on YouTube, where people are saying, you know what, I'm just going to go on the road and I'm going to live in a van. I'm going to find a U-Haul beater or some old Dodge van and turn it into my house on wheels. I think if I was doing that, I would want to be the guy who was designing the vans, right? I would be the one who would have those people be my customers, so I could help architect and design the house on wheels. I think that would be my niche. If I was in that space, I would break out my old AutoCAD and drafting skills and help them create a floor plan or a van plan, you could say, to help out with that. But I think, or the other thing I see is that people are just saying, you know what, I don't want a career. I would, I don't understand why people work in a career. What's the point of that? And again, I'm saying, well, people take pride in their careers. They want to grow. They want to learn new skills. But the young people are saying, well, you know what? This is not for me because companies are not loyal. Yeah, what are you going to do? So it is always something. But again, it just could be that, nothing ever really changes. Everything is the same. We've got ups, we've got downs in the marketplace. We have contrast. I tell people all the time that the stock market is not the economy. They're two different things, right, altogether. And it's been that way for a very long time now. The stock market is not the economy. So even if Wall Street is doing something different, that doesn't come back down to Main Street. One thing we're seeing is commercial real estate right now. It is suffering, and it's suffering because many buildings do not have full occupancy, right? So these expected rents that these landlords and these owners of these properties have, right, they're not getting their expected rents, and these buildings are sitting empty. They had the old Twitter building, or X now, in San Diego, I believe. It sold for like $43 million. Now it's sitting there empty, and it is having a hard time getting buyers, right? This makes me think of like the WeWork stuff as well, where WeWork was really big. It was like a flash in the pan where it was going to be the future of work, but then it famously imploded in a very short amount of time. And as people, they just could not get enough people to embrace that lifestyle or embrace that market. It was the classic supply and demand story. There just weren't enough people to actually keep it going. Now, SoftBank, they famously lost their shirt on that deal because they were a big investor in that in that space, but they lost a lot of money doing that, and many investors did as well. All right, let me know your thoughts. All right. And one thing I think people are doing right now is this